Greetings to everyone out there in the NoDQ galaxy. Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Aaron Rift NoDQ. We are coming off Smackdown, which going in we thought was going to be a one-on-one match, Samoa Joe versus Daniel Bryan, but then you add Big Cass to the mix, Joe's chances of winning drastic go down, if I may steal a quote from Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. Hello to everyone out there in the chat room. We have Kayfabe Candy Ass in the chat room. We have TJS. We have Virtue. Guys, am I still mirrored or am I correct with the camera and the way it's set up? Let me know, because I tried restarting my phone. I don't know what else to do. If it's mirrored, then I guess I'm mirrored from now on. People are saying I'm mirrored, so what's the deal, YouTube? People are saying I'm mirrored. I guess I'm mirrored from now on. All right. SmackDown Live kicked off with Samoa Joe coming out, cutting his promo, and he climbed up the ladder, grabbed the Money in the Bank briefcase, and then continued to talk about how he's going to win Money in the Bank. This led to Daniel Bryan coming out and saying, we don't have to wait until later. We can do this right now. And then Big Cass came out. He was walking with a crutch, but then Big Cass proceeded to say that he has been cleared, and he has been cleared as of right now. He then swung the crutch at Daniel Bryan, but he missed and hit Samoa Joe instead. And then we had Big Cass grab the briefcase. He hit Samoa Joe with it. He hit Daniel Bryan with it. And then backstage, Paige announced that it would in fact be a triple threat match for the final Money in the Bank spot. Since Daniel Bryan had defeated Jeff Hardy last week to earn his opportunity, Paige decided to make it a triple threat. I really had no problem with this. I know some people were upset about no one-on-one match, Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe, but I'd rather WWE save the triple threat matches for TV and do the one-on-one match on pay-per-view. Save Joe versus Bryan for a pay-per-view. Ooh, Virtue said Paige likes triple threats. Whoa. That's brutal, Virtue. I guess Virtue already has the Savage line of the night, unless somebody else can top that. Anyways, we had a dance-off, not a diva dance-off like what Mike Adamle might say back in ECW, but it was a dance-off between two of the women's Money in the Bank participants, Lana and Naomi. We had Rusev and Aiden English come out there and introduce Lana. They were in her corner. We had the Usos appear, and they were in the corner of Naomi. Lana did some dancing. She did a Booker T-like spin-a-rooney. Naomi did some dancing, and then Lana attacked Naomi, and it broke out into a Pier 6 brawl. Next week, they're doing a mixed tag team match. There was a one-on-one match between Shinsuke Nakamura, Shin, whatever you want to call him, and Mr. 10, Ty Dillinger. Nakamura won the match. He kept doing the 10 counts, I guess, to try and hype up the last man standing match for Money in the Bank. Ty Dillinger actually got a fairly good showing here. It wasn't a complete squash, and Ty even mocked Nakamura with the "come on." So this was all right. Yeah, Ty Dillinger still isn't going anywhere, but at least he got a fairly decent showing here. He put up a great fight. We'll just leave it with that. Ty Dillinger gave the old college try. TJS says, were there many Rusev Day chants? Because I haven't heard. I did not hear as many chants as usual, but, you know, this was Raleigh, North Carolina, not exactly your top A-level WWE city. It wasn't like it was New York or Chicago or Toronto or anything like that. No Jeff Hardy on this show. You know what, guys? Every week, somebody's going to miss the show because there's too many guys for a 2-hour show. So you get guys that aren't going to be on the show every single week. We did have Charlotte and Becky Lynch in a backstage promo to set up a match for next week. We had a promo by the new #1 contenders for the tag team titles, Anderson and Gallows. Anderson brought up how great his abs look and how his hot Asian wife loves his abs. Not quite as good as Finn Balor's abs, but I wish I had his abs, I'll say that. And then we had a little video appear on the screen next to them, a little promo by Harper and Rowan. I'm still not sure the last time Harper and Rowan actually had a match on SmackDown Live. It seems like it's been 3 or 4 weeks, so people are saying, well, Jeff Hardy wasn't on the show. We haven't had a Harper and Rowan match in a couple of weeks. TJS says the Bludgeon Brothers are hackers, apparently. Kayfabe Candy Ass says there should be an ab-off on SmackDown next week. Yeah, why not? If Finn Balor was on SmackDown, because Finn Balor, I think, has the best abs in WWE. Back in the day, I think it was Rick Rude, but definitely in this era, it has to be Finn Balor. We had a tag team match, which I actually thought was really good, a 6-man tag team match. Probably the best match of the night, although the main event was really solid as well. Dylan says, your light in the hallway in the background is creepy as all hell. Okay, well, it's still daylight here in Portland, Oregon. About another hour of daylight here. Kayfabe Candy Ass says Rick Rude had a 12-pack. Virtue says, dude talking about abs on a dude. Come on, bro. Well, let's see your abs, Virtue. You and me. We'll have an ab off on NoDQ's 20-year anniversary meetup. You, me, and Stefan. Triple threat ab off. How about that? But anyways, the 6-man tag team match. The New Day versus The Miz and The Bar. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was a really good match. It definitely picked up at the end. Some good moments in this match. We had Big E score the victory for his team. And I'm still curious as to who's going to be the representative for New Day at Money in the Bank. One would think it's going to be Big E, especially since he picked up the win here in this 6-man match. But there's still no official announcement yet. Virtue says nope to the ab off, but I'm gonna make him do it. I'm gonna force it on him. He's gonna do an ab off, damn it. NoDQ's 20th anniversary, Chicago. NoDQ.com/Chicago. RSVP if you're in the Chicago area for Money in the Bank. We'll do an ab off, and I'm gonna force him to do it. So I did enjoy this match. I thought it was good. Solid show overall, and I will compare Raw and SmackDown. I'll talk about which one I think is better in just a few minutes here. I'm trying to think what else I'm missing from this show. I feel like there's a match that I should be talking about that I forgot about. I know the main event, the triple threat. Somebody's going to have to help me here. I'm missing something. I know I'm missing something. Asuka. Thank you for that, Michael Wayne. Asuka defeated Mandy Rose. We had Carmella doing commentary, and of course Asuka won. And after the match, Carmella had a little stare down with Asuka. Really not much to say about it. it was just something to set up the match for Money in the Bank and give Asuka a win. No Iconics on this show, at least unless I missed something, but I don't think the Iconics were on this show. We did have a backstage segment with Andrade Cien Almas and Sin Cara. There has been internet speculation that there might be a faction being formed. Actually, I think it was Rey Mysterio that said something about wanting to form a faction with all the Latino superstars. Maybe that'll happen. Maybe we'll see Sin Cara and Andrade form a unit. Maybe Mysterio will show up and form a new LWO. Never say never, right, guys? Talk Show God says the Iconics are jobbers now. All these comments in the chat room about the LWO, literally like 15 comments here in the chat room. They could do it. Cheap merchandise money grab. Just put out a bunch of LWO t-shirts. Ken Terminated by Google says, LOL, LWO, are you joking? Sean says, where is Eric Young? WWE doesn't have a direction for them. Just like there's no direction for the Authors of Pain right now. So they're just not going to put these guys on television unless they can find a spot for them. So anyways, let's talk about the main event of SmackDown Live. We had the triple threat match, Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass versus Samoa Joe. Another really fun match. I enjoyed it. Which match did you think was better? Did you think the six-man match was better, or did you think the triple threat was better? Leave me a comment in the chat room. Let me know what you think. So, interestingly enough, we had a clean finish in this main event. I thought last week when the match was announced or made official that Big Cass would interfere and cost Bryan the match. Instead, Big Cass is back in action, so apparently if there was some kind of legitimate injury scare, he's all right. He was back in action on this show, and it was a good match. I enjoyed it. Let's go ahead and put Coloso in timeout. He's just spamming the chat room now. I was surprised a little bit to see Daniel Bryan lose cleanly to Samoa Joe, but at the same time, I like it because Bryan did not tap out. He passed out, so you protect Daniel Bryan, and you continue this storyline, and the announcers even played up on it, like Bryan made his big comeback. That's phase one, but now he's got to win championships. He's got to reach the top. He's got to reach the pinnacle again. TJS brought it up. Bryan botched his backflip early in the match. I think it was before the first commercial break. So I think that's like the first real botch that Bryan's made since he came back. But other than that, the match was really good. And I did like the fact that Joe won and Bryan did not tap out. He just passed out. And then after the match, Big Cass attacked Samoa Joe, or excuse me, attacked Daniel Bryan, I should say. Samoa Joe gets the final spot in Money in the Bank, and it's looking like we are going to see one more Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass match. We'll see how that goes. We'll see if it's better than Backlash. We'll see if WWE ups the ante, if we get a stipulation, who knows. So now we have all the participants for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Why do I have a feeling like we're going to see the New Day do something? The New Day, all three of them enter the match or some weird crap. I don't know. I feel like all three of them are going to end up participating in the match, helping out each other. I don't know. I just have this weird feeling. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I just have this feeling. Kieran says you look like someone famous, but I can't pinpoint it. I have gotten comparisons to John Travolta. I've gotten comparisons to James Hetfield from Metallica. If I had longer hair, if I had a mullet, people would say I look like him from the 80s. So I've gotten quite a few comparisons. The guys from Hanson, a whole bunch of comparisons. TJS says Kayfabe hates big ass. I still like Big Cass. I know there's reportedly backstage heat on him, but I like the guy personally. I think he's a good performer. I think he's better than people are giving him credit for. And I like his music better than Kayfabe Candy Ass is giving it credit for. As much as I love Kayfabe and his music tastes, I enjoy the theme song. Do 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 do. See, I remember it. I don't remember any of the other theme songs from guys like Bobby Lashley and half of the CFO stuff. I remember the riff from the song, so I think it's okay. I think it's a little catchy. I think it's decent. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, I like Big Ass. And Braden says, do you like his current promos? If you're talking about Big Cass, yeah. I like his promos. I think his promos are good. Kayfabe Candy Ass says it's stock CAW music. No, Lashley's song is stock CAW music. I don't even know how it goes. I could at least hum the riff for Big Cass's song. I don't even know how Lashley's music goes. It's so generic. I really don't know any of it in my head. Mitch, no Skype calls tonight. For the time being, I'm going to do the Skype calls on Saturday. I'm going to start doing weekly Saturday NoDQ lives, so there will be 3 a week. And on that Saturday one, I will be dedicating that to calls. But for the Monday and Tuesday videos, at least for the time being, I'm going to stick to just doing the review and interacting with people in the chat room. So as far as Money in the Bank goes, I'd like to see Joe win, but I'm not going to make my final prediction on it until the week of the show. Kevin Gearhart says, what time on Saturday? Probably the same time. I will probably do 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Saturdays, unless somebody or a group of people think there's a better time for it. I just think it's a better time because it's, around dinner time for the East Coast, so people are settling in somewhere, and 2 o'clock is a good time for me on the West Coast. So I think I'm going to do it at that time, but I might change it up, might experiment. Last week turned out really well, so I think I'll stick with that time for the time being. TJS thinks that Kevin Owens will win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Todrick says Rusev and Lana for Money in the Bank. I did talk about this before. I think that would be a nice angle, but I don't see Lana winning Money in the Bank. That would really surprise me, and I don't think she should. Even though she has some star power, some charisma, I don't think it's a good idea. Harry Flynn says thoughts on Grimm's wife challenging James Ellsworth for the intergender title. I don't really watch their videos, so I really have no opinion on it. I mean, at least James Ellsworth is keeping busy, so good for him. I do like Grimm, though. I think his videos are entertaining, the ones that I've checked out. But I don't really watch a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of podcasts, so when people ask me, I don't know. Eddie Smith with a $5 Super Chat donation. Thank you, Eddie. Much appreciated. When are we going to see the Bryan Zane collab video? Hopefully soon. He lives in the Reno area, I believe, but he has ties to Portland, and hopefully we can meet up at some point if he's in the Portland area, or if I'm ever down by Lake Tahoe. Interstate Kyle invited me to Tahoe, so if I do go down there, I can try and set something up with him. So I'm hoping fairly soon. Hopefully before the end of the year, we can set something up. For those of you that don't know, I had a nice chat with Bryan Zane from Wrestling with Regret back on Saturday at the Defy Wrestling show in Portland. By the way, DefyWrestling.com. I really enjoyed that show. I will talk about that in a moment here. Ken Terminated by Google left me a $5 Super Chat donation. I don't know who made the comment, but one fan said we might see a first Mr. and Mrs. Money in the Bank. He might be onto something. Didn't you say you agree with him? I think on paper it's a good idea. However, I don't think Lana winning is best for business just because she still can't really do a good one-on-one match. Rusev, though, winning, I would be fine with. So yeah, back to Defy Wrestling. I went on Saturday. It was their first show in Portland, and to me, it was the closest thing to PWG that I've seen in person. Really fun show. It was 21 and over, so it was pretty much 95% guys, a few women here and there, but great wrestling show, very entertaining stuff from start to finish, and I recommend checking them out. Go to defywrestling.com. They're doing more shows in Portland. They're based in Seattle. The promotion Progress, they're doing something with them. So check them out, defywrestling.com. And yeah, I met Brian Zane there. He was there for Memorial Day weekend. I talked to him, and hopefully we'll be able to do a video together at some point. I mean, there's definitely the demand for it. I posted the picture of us on social media, and everyone was going crazy. Virtue's like who? Virtue's just being a jerk. Chris May says, was it the best indie show you've seen? I would say one of the PWG shows I went to was the best one, but I mean it was on par with the quality of PWG, and I got to see Joey Ryan do the his whole porn shtick with the dick toss or whatever he calls it, the pornplex. I don't even know. The crowd was just going crazy for this, and I get it. I get why he does it, because at the end of the day, the job is to entertain people. And with indie wrestling, it's not like you have a lot of in-depth storylines. It's more about just one-shot matches. A guy goes out there, he does a match, and then they go to the next promotion and do something different. So with Joey Ryan, he's got to have a shtick, and the shtick works for him. He goes out there, and the crowd was just eating it up like crazy. The people that paid their money to go see that show, they were having an amazing time. They were very satisfied customers. So regardless of what people think about the Joey Ryan shtick, the crowd was eating it up. And DJ Whitey just left a $20 super chat donation. Thank you very much, DJ Whitey. I very much appreciate it. You mentioned last week that I was living under a rock. Well, I have. Working overtime, saving for the next major WWE event in Atlanta. Would you consider Atlanta for a meet and greet? And tell El Virtuoso to speak more Spanish. Well, I'm glad you're working more overtime. Obviously, you're being very generous and contributing to the NoDQ cause, which I appreciate very much. I'm probably not going to go to the Southeast. If I ever do travel that far, I would probably go to Florida. And I didn't even go for WrestleMania 34. I would like to go to Orlando again one of these days. I'd actually like to go to Florida and go to the other cities I haven't been to, like Tampa and Miami. I've only been to Orlando, actually. So I would like to one day just go to Florida and just explore all the major cities. So that would be my destination. If I'm going to go to the Southeast, I'll go to Florida. So maybe we can compromise, and maybe you can travel from wherever you're from in Atlanta or in Georgia or wherever, and come hang out. We'll do a NoDQ meetup. We'll go to Universal Studios and have a good time. Nelson with a $2 super chat donation. Do you think Daniel Bryan will get another title run? I do think he will get another title run, and I know there's speculation about Bryan that he hasn't signed a new contract and he might not stay with WWE, which I don't buy. I think he's going to stay with WWE. I think he will be WWE champion again. I think this storyline is just being done. So you have a story. So he has an uphill battle. You don't have him win the title right away. You slowly build it up. You have this story where he's doubting himself and he's got to keep clawing and scratching his way to the top. So that's the story I think WWE should tell. And it seems like that's what they're doing. So yeah, I think he will be champion again, but I think it's going to be slowly played out, and it's not going to happen right away. And one more thing I wanted to mention about the Defy Wrestling show. I got to see Matt Riddle wrestle for the first time, and I think it's only a matter of time before WWE picks him up. He's got a great look. I mean, the guy is in excellent physical shape. He's fairly tall. He's got a good tan. He's got a good look. He can wrestle. He's got the MMA background. I'm pretty sure he's going to end up in WWE. He's kind of got like the RVD vibe a little bit, the stoner wrestler. People were chanting stuff at him and making jokes about him and Matt Sydal, his opponent. It was the Battle of the Mats. And the crowd was making all these marijuana jokes because of these two guys having the match together and their reputations for engaging in certain recreational activity. But yeah, I think Matt Riddle's definitely going to be there. Chris May says, anybody else besides Matt Riddle we could see in WWE from the Defy show you watched? Yeah, there was another guy. I think his name is Shane Strickland. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. He was at the show. I thought he had a really good showing. I think that guy has a really good look. And I would not be surprised if WWE picks him up as well at some point. Dakota left a $2 super chat donation. WWE will not sign Riddle because he will not stop smoking. Well, I believe it's just a fine for marijuana. So he could probably afford a bunch of fines. But I don't think that will deter WWE from signing him. And if you think that nobody's smoking marijuana in WWE right now, I think he got another thing coming. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know because I'm not there, but if I had to guess, I would say a good majority of that locker room is smoking marijuana. I would be shocked if they're not. Jeffrey said, you're right, Shane Strickland. Yeah, I think that guy definitely, just look-wise, his in-ring performance, his whole package. He cut a promo afterwards. The guy has some charisma. I think he'll end up in WWE. He seems to be one of those guys that will definitely end up there at some point. Kayfabe Candy Ass says, no, Aaron, they all play video games and go to bed at 9 o'clock. Good one, Kayfabe Candy Ass. That was a good line right there. Hot Wheels ZZ84 says Kofi supplies it from Jamaica. Chris May says it's the Jamaican good stuff. Michael Blake says, first time in a while that I watched SmackDown, so much better than Raw. I agree, and I mean, it's been a weekly thing now. SmackDown was a good show this week. Grade-wise, I think it's definitely in the B range, maybe a solid B. I think we had two really good matches, and it flowed really well. There wasn't really any filler on this show. If anything, with a 2-hour show, they're looking for ways to squeeze as many people on the show as possible so the segments are kept short and they don't drag out. We don't have 45 minutes with two people involved, from a promo to 2 segments of a match. It's moved at a faster pace. So yeah, SmackDown I think is almost always going to be the better show just because it's 2 hours, but also with guys like Bryan and Samoa Joe, you got a really solid lineup in AJ Styles, Nakamura. Just easy for SmackDown to be the A show at this point and be the better show in terms of watching it as a viewer, faster paced and all that stuff. What the hell? Rift Aronson is here. Aaron, was Vladimir Kozlov underrated? I'm not answering your questions unless you super chat, Rift Aronson, just because I don't like you. So you're gonna have to pay up if you want me to answer that question. NoDQ Virtue says NoDQ listens to the NoDQ review. He does. I find that hard to believe since he blocked NoDQ and myself on Twitter, unless somebody's sending him the link. Maybe it's you, Virtue. Bradley says the A-list show, as Miz would call it. Yeah, I agree. I think SmackDown, and let's add Miz to the equation too. With Miz on SmackDown Live, that really adds to the quality. Mitch says, I miss Big Vito. You know what? If you miss Big Vito, go over to BigVitoBrand.com. or is it thebigvitobrand.com? One or the other. Go check out his content. He has lots of content. Virtue contributes to that channel, so go check out his stuff. If you're a fan of Big Vito, he's got lots of projects going on right now. Harry Flynn says, Aaron, I could see Nikki Bella with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Are all the spots filled up now? I don't even know if there's any spots left. I think they had the last chance match on Raw, so I don't think that's happening. I don't know what you're talking about with Nikki Bella. Braden says you can also check out Big Vito on the Russo Brand podcast, which is true. All right, guys, so I will go ahead and wrap up this edition of NoDQ Live. Thank you all for tuning in and supporting NoDQ.com and the channel. Make sure you pick up a t-shirt, a NoDQ.com t-shirt over at NoDQ.com/shirts. We have over a dozen designs on there. At 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific, if you're watching this live, check out Virtue's Rage with Virtue and Big Jeffrey. They'll be talking about wrestling and doing their DVD reviews and their video game recommendations. So go check them out on Virtue's page. Go to NoDQ.com/Virtue for that. Check out Kayfabe Candy Ass at NoDQ.com/KCA. NoDQ.com/TJS to check out TJS's content. And that's all I got for this edition of NoDQ Live. I will see you guys next time.